Hi everybody, and welcome to the session on Canvas tricks. I am super excited about this one because even though we've been in Canvas for several years now, I think that I'm going to be able to show you some things that will surprise you and also save you time, which is really what we're looking to do here. So what I have in front of me right now is a PowerPoint, and I don't typically do trainings with PowerPoints, but I think that this will help as a resource guide as we move forward and you want to come back and take a look at the things that we went through. So what I first want to mention is that I will be sending out this PowerPoint along with the recorded video, so anybody can look at both of those as you need to. The second thing I want to mention is on this first screen, you can see that these are all hyperlinks. As you run this PowerPoint, this will take you to a different link, obviously, that will tell you more about each of these topics. So as you need a refresher or as you want to go back and take a look at these topics, know that these are hyperlinks to outside sources to help to support that topic. So you can see that for this session, it's broken down into 3 sections: assignments and grading, visual options, and undelete, test, and beta. So we're going to go through all 3 of those sections and show you some of those hidden tips and tricks with Canvas that will hopefully save you some time moving forward. Okay, now to jump into the first section that's on assignments and grading, I'm in a development, just kind of a test course that I'm playing around with. And I'm going to take us first to the speed grader to show you one new feature that I just noticed this semester that has already saved me time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to assignments and I'm going to find an assignment that I'm going to use as demonstration. So I'm going to choose this example assignment up here at the top, and this is true for any assignment that you're going to have. I'm going to go to SpeedGrader, which of course you guys know is what we use to grade assignments in Canvas. And then from here you guys will see, of course, I don't have an assignment submission for this, but if I did, I would be seeing it over here to the left. And of course you also know in Canvas that you can embed rubrics into your SpeedGrader. And if you're not using those, that's another time-saving trick that might help you. When you have a rubric, you can open it up directly into SpeedGrader and you can grade directly inside of here. This has saved me a ton of time with grading and giving feedback. So that's kind of a side note. But the thing I want to show you is down here in the lower right-hand corner, you might notice a little, almost looks like a speech bubble and the number 4. You will have none there to begin with. But what this is it's a comment bank. And right here, when you can add in comments to any assignment in Canvas, you can, of course, type in anything. But I find that I say similar things for similar assignments to students. And sometimes it's a little bit generic, like, thanks for the hard work, take a look at the Canvas rubric, something like that, since I had already given a lot of feedback up here. But now those comments can be saved for you and you can reuse them and personalize them as you would like. So let me show you. In this lower right hand corner, if I click here, you can see that I have 4 that are already saved for me. Move myself out of the way a little bit here. Over here, I can add a comment to the library if I wanted. So something new, something that isn't those 4 things there, and I can add it directly up here. Once those comments are up there, you can edit them or delete them or just use them. So let's say in this case, I want to say, great details, terrific work. Once I click on it, it then goes into my comment area and I can edit from there. So I might want to say, good details in your recap, Sam, and then so on. So this is a huge time saver if you end up using similar comments for assignments. And those assignments, rather, those comments are there from course to course. So they aren't course specific. This is something that will stay there for you throughout your courses. And again, those will remain there if you create one for one assignment. It'll be there for assignments moving forward. So that I definitely want you to know because I do think it'll save you some time. Let me go back to the assignment area and show you a couple of other things. Okay, so here I am back at my assignment area, and this one kind of blew my mind when I saw it because I didn't know it was there. Did you know that you can change the dates on all of your assignments in one spot? I did not. So let me show you. To do that, you'll come to the upper right-hand corner of the assignment area and click these 3 dots. When you do that, you have an option that says edit assignment dates. So let me click that. This is going to take us to a page where all of your assignments are listed, as well as your quizzes. These are your 3 categories that you always have when you have a assignment or a discussion board or a quiz for your students. You have a due at, available from, and due until. This is one spot where you can see all of those things that you have for your students, and you can modify the grades all in one, or rather the dates all in one spot. So you can click here. Let's say I don't want August 27th, certainly not 2017. I can click on this and I can change this to any date that I want right here. And so I don't have to open up each individual assignment, scroll all the way down and find the date that I want to change it to. So let's say I'm going to do April 2nd. And you can do that for all of your assignments. There is also one other piece to this. If you have several things that all need to move by, say, 4 days, all of those dates need to move, you can choose multiple assignments from this area, come over to where it says batch edit, and you can change all of those and shift those a certain number of dates moving forward. So that works well if you've got a collection of things that are all due on the same day and you want to shift them all 3 or 4 days forward. You can also remove all the dates at once for those batch edits as well. So that can really save you some time from having to open up each individual assignment, scroll all the way down, change the dates, save, go back to the next assignment, and so on. So that's really good to know. Once again, that is under these 3 dots next to assignment in the upper right-hand corner. And while I'm there, I want to show you another thing. Did you know that each of these assignment groups, see these different groups here, can be weighted so that you can, let's say, have your reading assignments 50% of a grade, and say, this is a bad example because it says assignments, but let's say it's quizzes for 50% of a grade. If you want to weight your grades, using assignment groups is the way to do it. In order to set that up, same 3 dots we were just at, click that and choose assignment group weights. And when you do that, you'll see a box where you click weight final grade based on assignment groups. When you do that, you can assign percentages to the different groups that you have. So we might say our quizzes are worth 25%, our language arts area is worth 25%, and maybe our readings are worth 50%. You get the idea. So this will allow you to weight your grades if you have your course set up that way. So know that that's there as well. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is if you are using those assignment groups, you may want to allow the student to drop their lowest grade. So let's say you have a discussion board every week and you have all of those in an assignment group called discussion board. Maybe you want to drop their lowest grade within that one group. In order to do that, when you have your group set up, you come over to the 3 dots on the right, click it, and choose to edit. Now, when you do that, you're going to see here where you can drop the lowest score. How many scores do you want to drop? Let's say we're only going to drop the lowest 1 score on that. So Canvas will do that automatically for you, and you don't have to go do that by hand if you happen to be doing that. Now, if you have an assignment that you never want to be dropped, even if it's its lowest grade, you can add that assignment down here at the bottom. So assignment groups are great for weighted grades, but also ignoring the lowest, or you have the option to ignore the highest as well, and make sure that it doesn't drop an important essential assignment that you don't want to ever be dropped. So again, if you're doing that by hand, this will save you some time with that. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about assignments, I want to shift our focus a little bit to a few visual components of Canvas that I think that we can make a little bit more robust. So the first thing I'm going to show you is over in the modules area. So I'm going to move over to that now. Okay, so I set up this particular module to show you a couple of things. Notice that I have these little icons next to the headers. Now, headers are something that you can use in Canvas if you choose to. It's almost like a title of a section of content. It certainly doesn't have to be just used with titles, but these emojis can be put anywhere. Now, the reason I like these emojis is it gives the student a visual as to what you're asking them to do. So in this example, I set up 3 headers: read, watch, and submit. I'll show you another example in just a second. But in this particular module, I want the students to read something. Here's an article. Watch something. Here's a Canvas tutorial. And submit 2 things. Now, do you have to set these up this way? Certainly not. But it is a good way to organize your content and visually show the student what you're asking them to do. Let me move to a second course for just a second and show you another way that we've done this. Okay, here's another course that I use these emojis in. And in this case, this is an upcoming module, and I set up my things with titles. This one, they always see a tutorials and lessons for this week, and I used a stack of books. And then they have an assignment section as well, and I used a computer. So it's just another way to set those up. And here's the key. You need to be consistent each week. So if we scroll down here a little bit, you can see I'm using the same icons each time that I'm introducing that section of material. So they would, again, kind of visually cue for the student what's coming. So the question, of course, is how do you do that? So let's go back to our assignment here, and I'm going to show you. If you like this idea of titles and wanted to add one, they're very easy. You would just click on the plus in the upper right-hand corner of the module, and one of your options here is text header. So you would use a header. Let's say we're going to call this practice header. Okay. Then what you do, it's so easy. You right click and choose emoji. That's it. The emoji can be at the end or the beginning of the text. It doesn't really matter. So you choose emoji and you've got a whole bunch of options here. Now, I'm on a PC, you guys, so mine is a right click. On a Mac, it's the control button and just click, and the emoji options will come up. They look slightly different on a Mac, so don't let that throw you off. The emojis themselves are a little bit different, but the idea is exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add one in, just to show you. I'll add the computer in. And I'm going to choose to add the item. Okay, and there it is. And of course, this can be pulled up or wherever you want it to go. Now, those emojis are actually available about anywhere. Now, here, if I edit this, could I put one where it says Article 1? I can. Let me show you. The only thing about that is, and you can certainly do it, the Canvas pieces have their own little icon for all of their components, and you'd have to decide if that's just too busy or too much for them. But I want you to know that you can actually insert those emojis pretty much anywhere on here where you have a text box. So I like the idea of this because I do think, again, it gives a visual cue to students as to what's coming up. So that's one visual piece I want to show you. The next couple I want to show you are out on the dashboard. So let me move to that now. Okay, there are 3 things that I want to show you on the dashboard area that may make things look a little cleaner for you, maybe a little less cluttered. So the first thing I want to show you is, by default, we get this color overlay over our dashboard course boxes. Maybe that looks fine to you, but if you want it to look a little bit brighter, in the upper right-hand corner, there's these 3 dots, and all you need to do is remove the color overlay. So it's gone now. If you like that, you can put it back on, but I like it to look a little bit brighter and a little less muted, so I like to turn that off. 2 other things I want to show you. In any course, you can see that I've got a course name, and up here, it's actually called a nickname. If the title of the course is a little bit too long and you want to set up a nickname for your courses, only you will see that nickname, so you can name them anything you want. You can change that. So if we click in the 3 dots in any course, and come over here to where it says nickname, this can be changed to anything you want. I won't actually save this, but you can nickname this and it will rename this for you so that maybe it's a little bit visually easier for you to find your courses, especially if you have multiple courses with the same name. Again, you're the only one that will see that nickname, and students can do this as well. So know that that nickname is there for you to change it. I'll actually go ahead and change this one. Okay, do you see how it changed it up here? And that's only changed for me. So you can change these as you see fit. The other thing to know is, so our dashboard shows us what's considered our favorites. our course favorites. And you guys know, I think, that you can go into all your courses in star or unstar courses that you want to see in your dashboard. So let me remind you of that. Okay, so what I was mentioning is, notice on our courses option over here on the left, if we go to all courses, you will see literally all of your courses. When we do, you can see that the majority of them are not starred, and you guys won't see quite as many as what you're seeing on my screen. But anything that has a star next to it basically means show it on my dashboard. So you can go through and unclick or click any course that you want to see on your dashboard. That does take a little bit of time. So what I'm going to show you is you can, and this is called favoriting them. When you star it, you're basically designating it as a favorite to show on your dashboard. But look how much easier this is. If I choose to not see this course any longer on my dashboard, I can do that from here. If I click on these three dots and I click over where it says move, one of my options here is to unfavorite it, which means basically unclick the star and it will disappear from my dashboard. Now don't panic, because you can always get that back or go to that course by clicking under your courses area. So I turn things on and off quite often, certainly at the end of a semester, and I always go into courses and I have to scroll all the way down and find those courses, but you can do that from here by clicking on these three dots and then choosing to unfavorite it. So that may save you some time. Okay, the third thing I want to show you under these visual options is how to add a redirect inside of your course on the left-hand navigation. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, as we know in Canvas, we have a set of left-hand navigation options that come to us by default. And for the most part, people use those, you know, your modules, your syllabus, your assignments, those kinds of things. But what if you want something specific over on the left that navigates the students to a specific spot? For example, do you see over on the left here, I have an option that sends students directly to Google Scholar. So maybe I want them to research, and we're doing that enough that I want that to be an option on the left-hand side for them. Maybe it's only one module and I just link it inside of a module, but maybe they're using it every week, or it's something that I want them to use every week, and I want that to be a link and a button over on the left. How do you do that? So what you have to do is we're going to use a tool called redirect, and I'm going to show you how to set that up. So I'm going to come down here to settings, which of course is sort of your instructor only control area. And there are several tabs here at the top. You've probably played around with some of these before. We're going to go over to the area that says apps. Now from here, we're going to search for a specific app called redirect. Okay, there it is. It's that blue arrow, kind of sideways arrow. I'm going to click on this, and if it isn't already installed, you're going to want to install it. Mine is installed because I've used it before, but I can use it more than once. I'm going to click where it says Add App. Now from here, you can see that it's asking us for a name, a redirect URL, and a few options. So our name, we're going to say Steely Library. Now you're going to want to be very specific in that name because it's what's going to show up on the left-hand side. So I'm going to grab the Steely Library URL and come back over, and that is going to be my URL that they're going to go to. Now we have some options down here. We definitely want to make sure it shows in course navigation. This one at the top really depends on how you want the students to use it. If you want to open a new tab so they don't lose Canvas and it opens a new tab, leave that checked. If you want it to open inside the Canvas window, then you're going to want to unclick that. So I'm going to actually leave that because I want it to open in its own window, but it's entirely up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and choose to add an app. Okay, so here we are, and we're going to see that in just a minute down here on the left side. Sometimes you have to refresh your page. So let me go ahead and refresh and see if we can see this pop up. Okay, here it is all the way at the bottom down here. And you can see if I click on this, it is going to ask me to open into a new tab. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and there it is. But maybe it's not in the best place. Maybe we don't want it all the way at the bottom. Well, now inside of settings, you'll be able to go over to the navigation tab and move this just like we can anything else. So let's move this up. Let's say we want it right there under grades. Don't forget to hit save. And then in our navigation on the left, there is Steely Library. So this can then be used, of course, to redirect students to this area that you want them to go to. In this case, Steely Library. Now, let's say you want to get rid of this. For whatever reason, you want to create something else, or you need to edit this in some way. How do you get there? By clicking back up on the Apps tab, you will see an option up here in the upper right-hand corner that says View App Configurations. If we click on that and I scroll down, it's going to be alphabetical by what you named that. So if I scroll down a little bit, you will be able to see Steely Library right there. Now notice some of these have a gear and some do not. A gear means that you've set it up on your own and you're able to modify it. Many of these come to us from Canvas and it's something that we can't modify and we don't need to. But some of these we create ourselves and you can modify. So again, if you click here, we've got several options, including delete it if you're done with it, edit it, and you can click on this and take a look. Some of this will be obvious. What you would do with it, some maybe not. But if you wanted to change the name, that's an easy thing that you can come up here and change the name of. If you wanted to recreate it, it might be the easiest thing to go ahead and delete it and go through the steps again because it kind of is set up very specifically. So the redirect tool will allow you to create an external link within your course that the students see in the left-hand navigation. And that's what we did here with Steely Library, and that's what I did here with the Google Scholar. So that's the last component of the visual options I wanted to show you for how to make the Canvas course and your dashboard maybe come alive a little bit more. There's one other section I want to go through with you, so let's do that now. All right, we're in the home stretch here. The last three things I want to show you all fall under kind of how can you get to a back end of Canvas to do a few things that you need to do. The first is undelete. Have you ever deleted something inside of your course and then thought, oh shoot, can I get that back? You can. So, little known fact, if you come up to the URL of your course right after the course number and hit the / button and then undelete, and hit return or enter, it will take you to an area where you can restore deleted items. So all you have to do is hit restore and bring it back again. This can be a lifesaver. If you accidentally deleted any number of things from your course, you can get them back again. So know that /undelete will bring you to this restore deleted items area. Use it if you need to. Let me go back. Okay, so here we are in our course. And let's say you want to try out something, but you don't want to do it in your live course. You want to see how a module is going to look, or you want to test out an assignment, or you're trying some visual elements of your course that you want to do, but your course is live, so any changes that you make, the students could see. You can get into a test version of your course by doing a very simple thing. Up here at the top, again, in the URL, all three of these tips have to do with manipulating the URL bar of your Canvas page. So up here at the top, right after where it says NKU, you can type in the word test, period. So now it's nku.test.instructure.com and then your course. I am going to go ahead and hit enter. And what this is going to bring us to is actually a test version of your course. So look at the bottom here. It's a pink banner and it says Canvas Test Installation. And over here on the right, it says this Canvas installation is only for testing and will reset every month. So what that means is you can play around in here and it's not going to affect your live production course. So this is handy for a couple things actually. One, you can test out things and it's not going to bother your traditional course. Or if you happen to have made a change and for whatever reason you can't get that undelete back, your course, how it was about a month ago, will be here. So you can grab elements from it and bring them back over. So notice over here on the left, I don't have that Google Scholar or that Steely Library that I just added because it hasn't reset back from that month ago. So this will hold a snapshot of your course from some period of time ago, somewhere between now and a month ago. So this is another place to go and try to find pieces that were accidentally deleted or something happened and you can't get it back through undelete. So you can make changes to this and do anything you want without the students actually seeing what you're doing. This could be really handy for, again, not only testing things out, but grabbing things that might have been changed in your production course. So nku.test.instructure.com. And again, as a reminder, these will reset every month. So you can play around, and they'll go back once a month. Okay, so that's the test. Oh, one other note. When you go to this the first time, it'll be asking you to log in. You'll use your regular NKU username, your regular password, and then it'll open this up for you. So don't be alarmed when it pops up and asks you to log in. All right, so let me go back to my course here and show you my last thing I want to mention. Okay, so here I am back on my production course. What I mean by production is it's what every student is seeing right now. I mean, again, to point out, there's a couple things over on the left that were not in the test course because I just made those changes. Okay, there's one other area that's worth noting. And this may this may be a good fit for some of you, but maybe not for everybody. If I click up here, right where I did before, and instead of typing test, I type beta.instructure.com. This is an area where if you want to test out new features that aren't quite pushed down to Canvas, you can do that here. So let me go ahead and go to this now for you. Okay, it's actually popping up and it's telling me that it's taking me on a teacher tour because there are some new things it wants to show me. I'm going to actually close that. Okay, I'm done. All right, so this is, you can see I'm in beta now. Now look in the lower right-hand corner. This resets every week, a little more frequently than the test does, the test site does. But what you can do inside of here is test out new features. Now, where are these coming from? I want to show you this page. This is the Canvas community where it talks about current Canvas releases, and you can view release notes and new things that are coming out in Canvas. And this actually up here, the roadmap will also give you an idea in terms of where Canvas is going. So if you're curious about new features that are coming out, these release notes will give you some information on that. And those new features is what you can test out in the beta version of your course. So this will allow you to, again, a new spot to kind of play around. And the focus of this one is that you can test out new features for your course. Again, this may be a good fit for some of you, maybe not for everybody, but I want you to know that it's there. Let me go back to our regular course. And again, just like the test course, it'll force you to log in when you go to that for the first time. So to recap the last three things I mentioned, there's an undelete option, which may be the one that's most powerful for all of you and that you'll use the most frequently. But the test area also gives you, in the development world, they call it like a sandbox, an area for you to play in and test some things out without bothering your live course. The test area will do that for you. And the beta will allow you to test out new features. So that all three of those will allow you to manipulate the URL bar with a couple of different words in there to get to those spots. So let me, to wrap this up, go back to the PowerPoint that I started with so that I can remind you of the things we went through and show you the resource that I'll be sending along with this video. All right, so once again, for these Canvas tricks, we went through 3 different sections: assignments and grading, visual options, and undelete, test, and beta. And for each of these sections, I want you to see that I've got a page dedicated to give you a little bit of a visual reminder as to what we went over in that section. And this will be coming with the, again, the recorded session that I'm doing right now. So there's your assignments and grading. Here are your visual options, the 4 that we talked about, as well as a reminder as to the undelete, test environment, and beta environment. So this will be coming with this video. And lastly, as a reminder, each of these are hyperlinks so that you can get to more information about each of those things that we covered. So, gang, thank you for tuning in for this session and for coming along with me. Hopefully, some of these Canvas tricks will help you to save some time and maybe do some different things in Canvas that you haven't done before. As always, if you need any help, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to go through these in greater detail or help you with any of these. Have a great week, you guys.